Okay, I'm going to talk about the last part of Here Comes the Sun. Um, it's a very tricky part, but I want you to have all the parts before we actually start putting it all together. And you have everything, the essence of everything, except this one part. On the video that I listened to, it appears that the part I'm talking about comes in basically around 1 minute and 28 seconds. So if you want to go there and listen to that, I think it's called It's Here Comes the Sun 2019 Remix. It has a picture of the Abbey Road cover where they're walking across the street. And I believe at around 128 is where this part comes in. So it's interesting how you can count this. I find the way that I'm going to show you how to count it to be, at least for me, it was the easiest way to learn it. And the syncopation is so tricky in that area that when I played this song, I actually, every time I get to this part of the song, I actually do have to count it in my head in order to do it correctly. So what I have on the tab is in review, I have the one line that we've already discussed, this one here. The tab starts with that measure of D in the second line is 4 beats. Okay? Now, when we get to the next measure in the second line where that A chord is, that's the part that I'm talking about being at 1 minute 28 on that on the video. So what we have there, after we play, I'm going to play this the original section again, the part that's on line 1. I'm going to tune up a bit. When we get to that A chord, that's how that's played. Just kind of too short, 1, 2. I'm playing that A chord with just my one finger because it facilitates going to the next part. Plus, it's easier for me. It gets a little tight there, and you may have noticed that when you're playing this song, especially if you're using this kind of capo. It gets a little tight there. To try to actually do a 3-finger kind of A. So I'm using just this one finger, open 2, 2, 2. So I'm going to do that again, starting at the top of the tab. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. I'm going to do that one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Okay? Now, what happens after that is a long series of eighth notes. So we have the 2 A chords, which are 1, 2, and then the individual notes for the remainder of line 2 and the beginning of line 3 are all eighth notes, but they're grouped in threes. So they sound, at first impression, you might think they're like triplets, but they're not. They're just eighth notes that are grouped together in 3. What I mean by that is if you had 12 eighth notes in a row, you could group them as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and that would be your 12 notes. Or you could group them as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 and put that accent after every third note, and then they're kind of grouped as threes and it gives the impression of a triplet, but it's still just eighth notes in a grouping of three. So what happens after that? After we play that A chord, we got 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'm just playing the two chords on the next three notes. So you can see by playing that A chord with the one finger, 1, 2, and then I have the open A, 4th fret, 2nd fret. So it's right there. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now those eighth notes just continue streaming through there. There is no pause in that group of eighth notes. How many are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14 of them. And we're just going to string them right along. So it's going to go, this is what it's going to sound like. I'm going to start at the A. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. You see that last group when we get to the third line? That's just a group of two. Okay, I'll do it again. Starting from the A chord in the second line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, and. Or 1, 2. So that's how I usually count that. Starting with the A, the two A chords, I get 1, 2, then I start counting in groups of 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. And that takes me back to that D chord. I'll do that again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. And then the D chord, right on the tail of those last two notes. So after you play the A chord, 1, 2, and you play the next three notes, those are the three notes in an A chord. And then I shift my hand over and I play the three notes in the F chord. Then I play the three notes in the C chord. Then I play three notes in a G chord. And two more notes in a G chord. And then right back to the D chord for 4 beats. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? After you play that last D chord in that second measure of line 2, it goes right back to the A chord for 2 beats. Now I believe it's played for a total of, it's repeated 6 times, I believe. The first time it's just instrumental, and then the next 5 times they're singing sun, 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 here it comes. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and play that. 1, and I'm going to repeat back from the D right back to the A. 1, 2, starting on the A chord. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that's what it's supposed to sound like. You got to kind of just plow through it. So I play the two A chords, and I kind of give some pointers on this now. I play the two A chords with my first finger, 1, 2, then my hand is right in position for that first group of 3. Now when I go to the next group of 3, I'm actually putting my hand on all 3 notes. 3, 2, 1, then I'm just dropping down, 3, 2, open, then I'm dropping down again with both fingers, but I'm playing the 2, open, open, and then the 3, 2. But my hand is already on that low 3 note on the bottom string. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and do that and watch for that. I play the 2 chords, play the first 3 notes, then shift over, play those 3, drop down, those 3, drop down again, and then back to the D chord for 4 beats. 1, 2, 3, 4. When you get to that D chord, I would just go ahead and play that. Play the open D string and then just strum 3 times. Makes it easier to count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Back to the A chord. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and do that all again. I'll do it several times in a row. I'm going to start from the top of the page, which is once again, the line that you're kind of used to playing, or should be if you've been practicing. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1. 4. Okay? I highly recommend you count it that way and listen to the song, maybe go to that minute 28 and listen to that section and get so that you can count along with it in that fashion, and you'll find that it fits along perfectly. Okay? As we're going through that, if you want to listen to the words, I put the words where they occur. The sun, 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 here he comes. Because we have this, we have those first 3 notes, the notes of the A chord. Then as we get to the F chord, that's the first one. Sun, 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 here he, those last 2, those first 2 notes in line 3, here he, and then comes. Sun, 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 here he comes. 1, 2, sun, 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 here he comes. Sun, 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 here he comes. Okay? So I hope I've explained that clearly and presented it in a way that you can go ahead and accomplish that. That will be the final piece of the puzzle. And if you're making progress on the other portions, then we'll be able to go ahead and do the entire song. Next time we'll do the song all the way through. And I don't know if we'll do we're also going to do an actual playing arrangement, you know, an instrumental version of it. So maybe we'll do that first before we actually go and actually and put the whole thing together in its entirety. I'll have to think about that. So let me know if this is a success for you, and we'll talk to you later. Seems awfully bright in that video, but I'm trying to do it this way so you can get a better look at both hands, but then I have all that light behind me. Okay, have a good one.